So I'll be honest, I have a couple of questions on what you mean by literature. I'm assuming here that none of the books behind me classify as literature to you, so let me ask you a couple of questions. So first off, what about Mark Twain? I feel like we can agree that Mark Twain is literature, right? No? I am positive we can agree on Shakespeare, right? Shakespeare is literature. What about Jane Austen? David Copperfield and Charles Dickens? Okay, so I feel like you may not have heard of any of them, so let's go with something newer. S.E. Hinton, The Outsiders? Figured you would have read that in school. So what about me? This is the book that I wrote. I was the author of this book. Does it count, maybe? Neil Gaiman. You have to like Neil Gaiman, right? No? Okay, alright. Alright, I would say that if those weren't acceptable, I'd be running out of options. But here's another bookshelf. Here's a little baby bookshelf. And here's another bookshelf. Oh yes, and here's more too. And we have a lot of little baby collections of books everywhere. Need I go on? So yeah, these books, these are just my favorite books. And I feel like it's totally acceptable and normal for someone's favorite books to be modern books. But ultimately, I think there's a lesson to be learned here. And that's that just because someone has favorite books that aren't what you would classify as good books or classics, that does not mean that they haven't read them. And even if they haven't read the classics, that doesn't mean that you should dismiss their argument completely. Because just with that one comment and all of the assumptions that you made in order to write that comment, you committed a lot of logical fallacies. Let's go through some. So firstly, we have ad hominem. I feel like that's obvious, but I gotta say it. We've also got No True Scotsman, because real literature, that's not a thing, I'm sorry. No matter what I would have pulled off my bookshelf, you would have been like, that's not real literature. Also, I think it's hilarious that you got the Texas Sharpshooter, because the video that you commented this on was a Texas video, and I think that's very funny. You also got composition division because you assumed that my bookshelf, if I did have more bookshelf, would be like the rest of my books, when that's not true. So anyway, let's get to the troll rating. Accuracy, you got an F. You made a blatantly false statement with no evidence. Even if the statement was correct, it wouldn't be relevant to the video you commented on or support your argument in any way. Creativity, you also got an F. That was just lazy. I mean, your goal was literally just ad hominem. Entertainment, you gotta see though. I had a fun time looking through my bookshelves. I'm glad we got to go on that journey together. And for grammar, I hate to say it, but you got an A there too. It was just one sentence, but that sentence was right. So ultimately, my friend, you still get an F, because I just thought the whole thing was very lazy. I think you could have done better if you tried.